tell you what, while we're on the subject of characters, do you want to like share your thoughts on each of them, like even including like characters like the bartender and Pam from like the modern day?
Yeah, of course I can. So, we put out a poll as well, didn't we? And I'm with the majority here. Kat's my girl. I thought she was incredible. And maybe there is a little element of feeling the effects of the end and feeling sympathy for her. But she was just such a ball of energy. And I love, like, the whole small girl, like, don't underestimate her because she is a fireball. I loved her line delivery. Granted, I will say one little flaw of the game is that, like, the voice actress for her sounds like 30, 40, so she sounds like a fully grown adult if you used to shut your eyes. But I absolutely loved Kat's energy and her witty, sarky comments. Nora, brilliant. I came into this game thinking she was going to be a Chloe Price ripoff, but she's not. She's actually quite ditzy and kind of like light-hearted, but I really like that. Like, she's the one who's the most nervous to sit at the overpass bridge. So Nora was like really charming, really surprised me. I didn't think she would be written the way she was. Um, you know how I always say it's really difficult to have like really enjoyable main characters because they've got to be fairly vague to kind of accommodate the player's choices.
Yeah.
I thought Swan was really interesting. The way that she was like this like kind of nerdy bug girl, who like was into movies, not music, didn't really fit in anywhere. I kind of like really felt for Swan, and granted, yeah, some of her dialogue really fucking cringe. I quite liked her. Autumn's probably my least favourite, even though I probably trust her the most because she's the most grounded and like level-headed of the lot, the most mature, arguably. But still, though, like I just felt like I wanted a little more from Autumn potentially. But still, though, I really liked her and how she kind of is in the present day. But in a weird way, yeah, I like the group as a four. I kind of resonate with them a little bit myself, having, a bit of an alternative edge, kind of, like finding a group of like-minded friends like that. So I kind of liked it. Not like the strongest, but I really liked all of them. As for the side characters, yeah, like Dylan and Corey, I really like what they did of making them look quite villainous, but actually they have good intentions. The barman, which you mentioned as well, I mean, he seems okay. I'm more intrigued by the girl, I think her name was Pam, who like studies like the supernatural. At one point they asked my name and I didn't want to give it because I was like, I have a feeling something's going to go down here. We've seen a police car out the window. I feel like something's going to go down in the present day soon. So I was acting quite vague and keeping my cards close to my chest. So I'll have to see for that one. I think that maybe something could go down with Pam and the barman, maybe, like whether they go against us at the end, I don't know. So yeah, how about yourself, mate?
Starting on that, that's the thing. I would love to offer up a theory that serves like the modern day in terms of what's in the package, what the bartender and Pam, how they fit in. Because even when you first walk in, it could be like friendly chit chat, but at the same time, like the bartender was it's almost like the Spanish Inquisition. Like some of the questions he was asking, it's like, okay, like, I just want to drink and sit and meet my friends, but you're. But then again, that could just be a typical community, villagey feel, that people are very chatty and want to know your business and that sort of thing. Look, with the characters, with the main four, I spent, 7+ hours with this game, which is roughly the length of, say, a DPA game. And I was hoping to have got more out of the characters considering the amount of time we spent with them. Sure, I can roll off tropes. Swan, she's a bit of an introvert. She likes moths. She likes horror films. Nora, like you say, she's a bit ditzy. She doesn't like bugs. She likes rock music. Kat, she's into like feminist punk. She's a bit intense. Autumn, I do agree with you, is perhaps the one it's hardest to, nail something on with her. She's perhaps potentially the more neutral out of the entire group. But what I would say is that I think whether this is like a writing criticism, I do for some reason can't quite see it between all four characters in terms of like the harmony and the relationships, even though we've had 7 hours with them. It's like you mentioned before with the dialogue, it is a little bit cringy, and I'm like, would friends speak like this to one another? And I get that they've just met, but I don't know, like speaking as someone externally trying to see where the rapport comes from, I just don't see it. It's almost like, if you want an analogy, it's like, imagine downloading something, you get to 70% and then it starts buffering. There's like a 30% missing here between these characters, which I do hope gets resolved in like tape 2. Whereas the complete opposite with like the modern day, I really like the scenes where they're more mature. It seems that they seem to have that rapport. They seem to be just older in themselves, more wise, and they know why they're there, and there's like a little bit of tension in the air. I really buy into those scenes, but for some reason I just can't get my head past it with the characters, like the main four at least, in like the past. As far as Dylan and Corey go, yeah, like they've been set up of sort of the bullies, and then you've got that twist at the end where actually they are looking out for Kat, because I do think the girls were a little bit hard on Corey, like when he ultimately come to get Kat, like towards the end of the tape. So yeah, I almost sit in a position where these characters aren't terrible, I'm not saying that, but I'm more intrigued by the plot than the characters, and it's a really weird place to be sat in, because I do sit with, like, even in the modern day when the police car goes past, and even just like the dimly lit bar, it's very sort of dark, you've got this package in front of you, there's an air of mystery about it. Whereas for the vast majority of tape 1, you're getting to know the characters and like building rapport, and it takes way too long, I think, to get to the supernatural elements of this particular episode. But like I said, even reaching the end of it, I don't feel like that it's fully fleshed out character-wise. So I guess that's where my negative falls in on it.
No, and those are very valid points, mate. And, you know, I do agree with the majority of it. You know, like, one thing that really surprised me is that I came into this game thinking, like, my random assumption is that you would have a pre-relationship with Nora and Kat, and then Autumn was the outsider that would come in. But it's actually Nora and Autumn are the only two that know each other. You know, Swan rocks up, you know, kind of awkwardly at the ice cream bar and, you know, like, befriends them. And then, you know, obviously Kat steps in. So 2 of you are complete strangers. And this whole thing is like the summer of 95. And whether it's a criticism or not, I'm unsure. And I get like these supernatural events happened, which are always going to tie them together. But that means that like these girls would have like pretty much, well, at least, you know, for Kat and Swan's sake, only known each other for one summer. And I'm like, I just thought that this whole friendship thing would be like, you know, quite like a long established thing, but like it's just once. So we're talking like maybe 3 months. Like this is a school break, and you know they've got this connection. So I do agree, a lot of it just feel a bit weird in that sense.